This on the screen is my current draft, and what is the general consensus for my team at the moment? It is shit. Yes, I literally hate my team from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, if I could keep players, I would probably keep only two, and you see what I think about it. Now, during the international break, I prepared a wildcard for those playing a regular fantasy this year, and it really got me thinking. I could go to some of the players that I've listed there. I've listed some good differentials, and the challenge I'm doing myself this year is I can only pick players from the World Cup winning nationalities. That means that I can only pick players from Uruguay, Argentina, Brazil, Spain, Italy, Germany, England, and France. Only those 8 nations are up for grabs. And I struggled a lot. I literally hit rock bottom. From 12 million players, I am 2.2 million. Literally, if you could try to play regular fantasy and get this kind of score, it's just a special talent, in my opinion. I'm on 293 points, and the first guy in fantasy is with 569. So he has almost double my points. And what this means? I'm screwed. Will I give up? Never. So, last night on stream, me and my friend Kanji decided to build a wildcard draft. And now I'm going to answer the question that I asked in the title. Should I wildcard my team? And the answer is absolutely yes. I'm sick of my team. I don't want to see most of the players anymore. They just got me so screwed. Every week I have benching headache. Sorry. Every week I have points on the bench because some random players are delivering. Krupi delivered. Who the hell expected Krupi to deliver? Cucurella has delivered against Liverpool while my team has been struggling on the field. And now it's time these struggles to end. So today I'm going to build live what we built with Kanji, and I'm going to explain my reasoning behind every pick and how we got to the team that we've built together. We're going to see that my budget is 99.2 million pounds. Kanji's team value is 101.4. He has over 2 freaking million worth of players. So one thing is good here. I don't own expensive players because of my challenge. Haaland, Salah, Isaac, Bruno, Gyökeres, Semenyo. They're out of the equation for me, and I can afford the cheaper assets that we get. How we are going to go through building this team? It's simple. We are going to start from the most important part and build around it. What's the most important part? Captains. Who am I going to captain all weeks? It's going to be none other than Bukayo Saka. For me, that's non-negotiable. I don't have any other expensive player on my radar. It's just Saka and Palmer. Palmer is now injured, so I need to get Saka. Hopefully Saka will survive the international break without scratches. Even if he doesn't, I am not in a position not to pick Saka at the moment and not to activate the wild card in this moment, because if he is injured, I will have to just take him out of my team, and that's another thing that I don't want to do. Being on the Arsenal topic, I think there is one more player that it's non-negotiable, and that player is just Gabriel. For me, I wanted to get him in game week 6, and he got 21 points since. From 47, he got 21 in 2 weeks. Yes, I screwed up once again. The Arsenal good fixture run requires a third player from their team, but this requirement can wait because I want to build around it without spending a lot of your time on it. Next up on the horizon, we need to have, let me open the fixtures and the fixture difficulty rating because it's important to monitor. We have several teams that I want to invest in. First of all, it's Chelsea, Forest, shit, Sunderland conceding, Spurs conceding, Wolves, Burnley, Leeds, Everton conceding goals for fun. So Chelsea is a team I want to target. Another team that I want to target, Newcastle. Brighton, shit. Fulham can score to save their life. West Ham doing badly. Brentford, mediocre. Everton conceding. Burnley, Sunderland, and so on and so on. I'll be focusing around up until game week 15 because around game week 16 I think AFCON begins, and when AFCON begins we will get free transfers and we can rearrange the squads with many more players. So up until game week 15 both Chelsea and Newcastle are on my top list. And now I'm going to build around it. I'm going to add a Chelsea defender in. I have a lot of resources, so Cucurella is in, and I will add a Newcastle defender. And I am done with the nailed defensive things. Next up is going to be attacker from Chelsea, penalty taker with defcons, and another attacker from Newcastle, penalty taker. I know he is a minutes risk, but I think for the minutes that he is on the field, I think Gordon will be great. Of course, this might struggle and probably ultimate might end up being a better shout. But in this particular moment, I feel like Gordon is the spot to target because he's so lowly owned and he will skyrocket my rank when he starts delivering in the league as well. I think he is bound to start delivering. Now, I think we've got the core of the team, and now we can focus on what? Fixtures and what form. What fixtures do we have else? Arsenal, already discussed. Aston Villa, nope. Stay away from Aston Villa. That's a request. Bournemouth, up until game week 11? Probably not. Yes, against Forest. Okay, but then City, it's tough. And the only player that I can get here is Tavernier or Evanilson. And at the moment, I'm not pretty excited by any of them in that attacking department. We're speaking only about attack. Brentford, tough games. Liverpool, Palace, Newcastle, not for my liking. Brighton, shit. I owned some of their players. No thank you. Probably someone like Welbeck makes sense. And it probably makes a lot of sense. But for now, probably not for me. He has scored twice this season from 2 expected goals, and against Everton, what are these numbers, man? But yeah, 23 minutes against Chelsea, 2 goals. After it, I'll be staying away from them players because, yeah, not for me. I know the fixtures are semi there. Forest, Brentford, Leeds United might contemplate him, but for now, I think it's a no for me. Burnley, not interested. Chelsea, already got. Crystal Palace. It's a little bit tough here. But they're a team that I might want their players to be in my team. Bournemouth, it's tough. But Palace are the team with the second highest non-penalty expected goals, which is a big thing. Brentford, Brighton, Wolves, United, Burnley, Fulham. After game week 9, it's a clean run from them. And yes, I can start with someone like Evanilson, but it's Palace who are tough and Forest who are shit. So we have a transfer saved up for something that I'm not a fan of. So Mateta is on the rise on the important players that I can get. Everton, 2 tough fixtures. Probably after it I can be looking at someone like Grealish for my team. Fulham, no thank you. Leeds, no thank you. Liverpool at the moment, no thank you. City are a good team, but I can only get Foden, and Marmoush is soon to be back. So probably we'll stay away from City. We skip Newcastle. I have already Forest, no thank you. Spurs, only the forwards are good for me, but yeah, not the most amazing fan of. Then we have Sunderland, Isidore, a great pick. but it gets tougher and tougher in the run. I might pick him, but is it worth it? I don't know. And we get to the real deal that I'm looking at. West freaking Ham. Brentford, Leeds, Burnley, 3 in the next 4. And I think here I will find the differential picks. First of all, we go to Bowen. And second of all, we go to Paqueta. And I think I'm sorted. Another penalty taker added to the ranks, and another player in the likes of Bowen added to the ranks. I'm happy with it. I can survive with it. I can live with it. Perfectly fine. Now we got the attack sorted out in midfield and in part of attack. Here I'm on a 50-50 now that I've discussed 12 back. It makes sense because because I plan to free hit in game week 9, to bench boost in game week 9, and I will need players with good potential fixtures in game week 9, and that's something that I want to focus. And in game week 9, it's Mateta versus Arsenal. Probably a blanker. You never know. He gets good chances week in and week out. But Arsenal away is probably the toughest offensive fixture in the ranks. We can go for Evan Nilsson instead of Mateta. I like him a lot. Yes, in game week 10, he is not optimal. In game week 10, I will have struggles because I will have my West Ham players there. So I might need to look for a transfer around game week 10 to just offload Evan Nilsson. But Evan Nilsson have been struggling. Who hasn't been struggling? When we look at Brentford, Liverpool at home. Yeah, Liverpool are conceding, but still not a fan of that type of thing. Chelsea. Yes, I want to mention Chelsea because the second forward of my team is going to be Chelsea's João Pedro. Forest away, and then we have Sunderland at home. We have a good fixture run for Chelsea. I know João Pedro has been struggling, but Chelsea have been struggling in general. But I think the win against Liverpool is just going to skyrocket them. Now we need to keep looking for a forward in game week 9. Of course, someone like Calvert-Lewin might be a shout. I cannot believe I'm saying that. But Calvert-Lewin might be a shout for that bench boost. He is in a pretty mediocre run, as per usual, as with him. So I'm a little bit not feeling that move, and elsewhere I cannot pick, sadly, any Wolves players. Up front, Strand Larsen is not someone that I'm interested in that. So yeah, game week 10, game week 9 in particular, and game week 10, it looks like Brighton are the team to get. But do I really want to get Brighton? Probably not. After Ruter hurt me for so long, I am just not going to trust him at this particular moment. A player that I can trust this week or not play at all is this guy Evan Nilsson. I can get him as a benching option this week, get him as a benching of good player in game week 9, and then probably bench him once again in game week 10. So basically I'm relying against Forest at home. Forest are shit. So yeah, I expect them to score against. But then I would need him for game week 10 as well. So someone like Calvert-Lewin makes sense here. I can bench him against Burnley, play him against West Ham. But you will find it surprising when I say to you that my first keeper is going to be Areola from the so set West Ham. He has West Ham Leeds in 9. I'm happy to play him on the bench. My second keeper is way stronger, and no, he is going to be my first keeper, Donnarumma, and my second keeper, Areola. What about Donnarumma when he has a hard fixture in game week 11? When Areola faces in game week 11 Burnley at home. Leeds away, Burnley at home. Those are the two fixtures I need Areola. He has been playing under the new manager as the starting keeper, and I think he is a good contender to keep playing. So I'm getting Areola into the squad, and that is locked. So it's tough. It's getting tough, and this last striker spot, we're going to leave it to last, and I want to listen to your opinion. Who should I get there? You're going to say, why don't you go for ultimate? And that will be a very, very good question, because in game week 9, I can pick Fulham. In game week 10, they have West Ham, and I'll be a happy man owning him in that run. But I was looking at something like Trippier in defense, because he rotates well with Cucurella. Now, do I want a rotation with Cucurella? Probably yes. You're going to say, but why do you need a Cucurella rotating pair? We have Cucurella facing Spurs, Arsenal and Bournemouth. I feel like those fixtures I want Cucurella away. But if I want Cucurella away in those fixtures, why do I need to get Trippier? Because Trippier on my bench boost in game week 9 will have a very, very strong fixture. But if I change it a little bit and I go with Everton's defense with Tarkowski here, then I will need to play him against Sunderland, because I want to play him against Sunderland. But I will have, yeah, I will play him over Cucurella. What am I speaking? Of course I will play him. So yeah, here play him in 10 for the first time. Have him in 11 for bench boost. And if I go for 11 bench boost, then I can easily play Mateta here in the striker spot, because he has Brighton. I can easily rely on that player up front. And then ultimate becomes a little bit useless in that department. So if I don't go for double Newcastle defense, I'll go for double attack. If I go for double attack, but they don't score that many goals, sorry. They scored... Let me go and check the fixtures. So they scored twice against Forest. Everyone in their mind should be scoring against Forest. Once against Arsenal, 0 against Bournemouth, once against Wolves, 0 against Leeds. Do I want this team with a double up? Probably not. What I would probably want is to get Mateta here up front. I think it makes the most sense for me. Then game week 11, I would not require to probably I might bench boost in 11 still, with having Newcastle facing Brentford, because I will have West Ham facing Burnley, then having, but I prefer the home fixture for Newcastle against Fulham. So yeah, and here it will be Trippier that goes into the team. I think that makes the most sense to me. The team is solid and I'm not booking any transfers. I know that there are some shit fixtures for Mateta, but I don't want to avoid the Palace attacker at this particular moment. There is a good defender, because Trippier is rotating with Cucurella, or Burn is rotating with Cucurella, but I still need to rotate some of my Newcastle defenders, and the best rotation that they can get is Senesi. Speaking about that rotation, we need, so Newcastle defender, we can play in the next 4, we can bench the Bournemouth defenders, but in game week 9, when we need him, it's Bournemouth against Forest. Then we have the tough West Ham fixture for the easy West Ham fixture for Bournemouth compared to City. Then we have Chelsea, United, Burnley, Sunderland. We have Spurs with Everton. We have Sunderland. I can rely on both of them. So I think that this is the defense locked. And there is one player that I want to pick here, and Kanji recommended to me, and that is Eze. I don't want to go for a double Arsenal defense. I want to go for double Arsenal attack and focus on that side of the team. 0.49 expected, a lot of expected goals. He's shooting from everywhere. Odegaard is now injured. I think his minutes will only increase, and I think he will keep getting involved in those goals. At some point, yes, he has not scored a goal yet. That's due to happen, and I think fixtures like Fulham, Burnley, Sunderland are ideal for double Arsenal attack. And here, I think I draw the line. I'm activating the wildcard, playing it. I'm making the transfers. I'm confirming and playing the wildcard. And here we have my team already set up for next week. Trippier plays 23.90. I picked Trippier because Livramento is now injured. Lewis Howe is now injured. I need to check his minutes, of course. If they're a little bit questionable down the road, I think I can opt for someone like Tarkovsky over him. Tarkovsky fits the situation perfectly fine, and then I can switch to bench boost in 11 with Tarkovsky against Fulham. That can happen. And I can replace Cucurella with Tarkovsky. But Trippier is there for 4 weeks in general. It can be even 3, because in game week 11, in game week 10, I need a defender over Senesi. And the player that this week is going to be benched, I don't know who will I bench, but probably is going to be Paqueta. That's the toughest part out here, that I have to bench Paqueta, as this week he has a very, very good fixture against Brentford, but I need him for my wildcard and probably for 11 to cover some, not wildcard, bench boost, and for 11 to cover. I think I'm keeping the captaincy and the vice captaincy as it is. I think now this team is way, way better. I want to hear your opinion about it. You know my limitations, you know everything. Should I drop Mateta to someone else and go with Welbeck? Probably not. Ultimate and Tarkovsky over Mateta and Trippier. I'm losing a penalty taker, but I'm getting a defensive contribution monster with nailed minutes. So that's another thing. But as mentioned, both Livramento and Ho are going to be out for the foreseeable future. Yes, there is Jacob Murphy that can cover Trippier, because Trippier cannot play week in and week out in UCL and in the Prem. But I still think that this guy will be okay to own at this particular moment. Yes, he's expensive, but he is just a rotation player. And if some reason he is not playing or he is injured, I can always rely on Cucurella and just play Cucurella over him and just rotate Senesi with Burn. And that would be it. I think that it's not the biggest of downfalls. Here I can save some money, but do I need to save some money? If we go to Sunderland, of course we can pick Mukiel. But then in 13 and 15 they have bad fixture. In 13 and 15 Leeds have a bad fixture, and Burnley has a bad fixture in 10 as well when I will need him. So those cheap defenders are out of the equation for me. It's either Everton, it's either Spurs, or it's either Newcastle, but I prefer Newcastle because they have been the second best defense in the league and they're a little bit cheaper than the first defense, and I can have the first defense in the league best. They're best attackers that I can afford. So yeah, I think I'm in a good predicament. Benching a penalty taker, that will not end up so well for me, I feel like. But I think that this team will build me and push me to a very, very strong fixture run. And I have a solid rotation pairs and solid bench options that I can rely on week in and week out without me worrying of minutes. The only minutes risks are Eze and Gordon. But I feel like with Odegaard out, it's Eze in, and I feel like Gordon will start gaining more and more minutes in the Prem. So I think that's the best that I can do at the moment. If you enjoyed and want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please help me with your suggestions. I feel like I'm in a good spot, but we can always improve, as I'm always striving for improvement. Once again, thanks so much for watching. It means the world to me. If you join my mini league and you beat me, you reap the benefits. Don't you worry. Join the Discord. Join my X. I will be posting my updates there, of course. And of course, I will be hosting a deadline stream for that week, so you have the full updates on my team, how it's looking, and who I'm picking on my wildcard. But yeah, the wildcard is active, and it's going to be a banger week for me, and I will start pushing out of this relegation zone. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for being part of the community. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.